Hi everybody, a really warm welcome to my channel, Nelly the Narcissist, to everybody that is newly subscribed, and for those of you that have been with me for quite some time and even since the very start, thank you so much for joining today. You're always so welcome. I speak with a lot of people about their relationships with narcissists, and I receive emails and I do coaching and guidance sessions, and one thing that comes up a lot is that people are trying to understand narcissism and narcissists, but through their own human, and I will say humane, moral perspective. And they're left completely confused and bewildered because they just don't get the motivations or mindset of narcissists. What I learned through my own experience is to really understand narcissists. You have to think on the level of a narcissist, and you have to get to grips with the psychology of narcissism, otherwise known as Narcology, because the way that they're wired is totally alien to you and what humanely is inherent within you. And this is the thing. If an actual alien creature, for example, was standing in front of you and it behaved in a way that was not humane and not moral, without any code of ethics, then you're going to understand it because it's a different species. It's not human. And so you wouldn't expect it to operate within the same codes of humanity that you do. The problem with people with narcissistic personality disorder and other cluster B disorders, and even crossovers of multiple disorders, the individual is actually more like that alien than you would consider. But we're fooled by the appearance because although narcissists look human, and they are human, they're missing some really important features that go into the making of a real, full human being. Because to really be a human, in my opinion, is not just to look like a human. There is so much more that goes into it, and that is coming from within. So today I want to speak about the psychology of narcissists, the mindset really. And I want to help people to recognize that to fully understand a narcissist, you have to come outside of your own regular human mind, and you have to travel somewhere quite alien to you to know how the mind of a narcissist actually works. And in getting educated about this, you're going to be in a far better position and far less vulnerable when it comes to actually dealing with them, if that's what you have to do. Really understanding narcology and the psychology of narcissists, it will be your protection because they aren't like you and I. And so I'm going to explain all of this in today's video, and I hope that it will be helpful to you. But just before I begin, if you appreciate my content and you want to help me get it seen by more people that might need to receive the messages, then please don't forget to like this video, share it, and comment your thoughts down below. I don't know if any of you are used to driving on different sides of the roads in different countries, but when I lived abroad, I drive on the right side of the road, which was different to the left side that we have in the UK. And first of all, driving on the other side was really difficult because my brain just couldn't switch. But obviously in time, I became more and more comfortable on the other side of the road, or the wrong side of the road, as the British call it. And when I came back to the UK to drive, my mind had to make a conscious switch. And I had to keep on reminding myself of where I was and what I was doing, or else I would be in danger and it would be a disaster. And it's literally like turning on and off a switch. It's like a different part of the brain. The first time I did this, I was unsuccessful. I went too close to the side of the road and I knocked off my wing mirror. And my Italian friend that lives in the UK and very used to driving on both sides of the road, she said to me, "You have to switch, woman." And these words, they came back to me as I was inspired to write this podcast. Because in order to understand a narcissist, and not only understand them, but to know how to deal with them, if that's what you have to do, you have to switch your mindset. Even though they do a great job at presenting as a fully fledged human that feel and think on the same level as you, you can't afford to approach them as if they were the same as you, because that is the deception. They're nothing like you. And when we allow our minds to be fooled into thinking that they are like us, we actually give them the room that they need and they want to have and maintain the upper hand, because they know that they aren't like you. They know they're not the same. They know that they have to pretend and fake their humanity to be around us and to get what they want from others. But they know that they're faking. They know that they're devoid of morality and humanity. You need to shut off your usual way of being around regular people and thinking about people And you need to turn a switch on for dealing with narcissists. And why? Because this is for your protection. I'm not going to say to treat anyone unkindly. I'm saying to remember who you are dealing with, because it's very easy to forget. And I know for myself, I screwed it up all of the time. Because narcissists are devoid of morality. There's a lot of things that they can and will do that you could never do. And this is why they have the upper hand. And this is why they can be so dangerous. They know cognitively the ingredients inside a human being, like love, empathy, kindness, compassion. They don't feel these things themselves, but they know that you do. If you're a human being, you're going to be able to access all of these emotions. And narcissists know exactly what buttons to push to elicit certain human responses from you. And this is how they can and they do manipulate others so well. They will use your morality against you. And this is what messes with people, because you can show kindness and compassion and empathy to these narcissistic individuals and they screw you over. They con you through your kindness and your willingness to love and care for them. And people can turn against love and kindness because a narcissist used these things against them. The moment that you start thinking and interacting with narcissists like they're regular human beings, you're going to be in big trouble, because you could easily fall prey to their manipulation and their agenda when you don't keep in your mind exactly who you're dealing with. Like I said, you have to make a mental switch and you have to know the psychology of the person that you're dealing with. And the good thing is, they're all the same. Narcissists, once you know how they operate, they're very predictable. But they can catch you off guard when you least expect them to, which is why you must always know who you're dealing with and remember it. Never forget it. So let's explore what narcissists are and exactly who you're dealing with. A narcissist is basically somebody that needs to parasite off of the life force, the energy, and the resources of others. Now, we know the term narcissistic supply. People to narcissists are fuel. They're like edible objects. They are to be consumed and even completely devoured if that's what they choose. The narcissist is like a hungry wolf. No matter how they appear on the surface, they can be extremely attractive. They can come across as very kind, vulnerable. They can wear the mask of victimhood. And they can also seem like your best friend, kind, compassionate, caring, all of these things. And this is the deception of a covert narcissist, because yes, they're dressed up in the attire that fools you and tempts you and lures you close to them. And this is the camouflage of the predator that's ready to pounce. They're not seeing people as people. They're seeing people in the same way that the wolf dressed as grandma is licking its lips. But you see, the process of narcissistic abuse inside these relationships is something that happens gradually. It gradually creeps in, and before no time, you find yourself locked in an extremely toxic bondage in which you've got no idea how you even got there. You were blinkered and blinded, and you started hosting a parasite. It's almost like an alien species, or this dark force that locks in on you with the intent of draining you and taking all that you've got on offer. And return, to keep you hosting them, they're going to pretend like you mean something to them on a human level. Whilst they need something from you, they will do their best to keep the mask on. But when you're not of use to them, the mask will come off and the real face will be revealed. And it's always a massive shock to see a narcissist unmask. And this has varying degrees, ranging from the cruel to the despicable to the horrific, and then to a level that's far worse than anyone's nightmares. To an individual with narcissistic personality disorder, you don't mean anything to them on a human level. You mean something to them on a narcissistic level, which is a completely different thing. The thing is, they themselves don't have a human level, and they don't have a connection to a human level. And that's why you don't mean anything to them on the human level. What has consumed the narcissist is the narcissism. They don't exist. There's a void where a human should stand. And the only thing that's actually present is this false self. It's the narcissist. It's not the person. And for the narcissist narcissism to exist, for them to survive and to maintain this false self, the narcissism has a whole list of demands, and it's fed by the fuel of other people. It needs other people's admiration, attention, it needs energy, but it also requires human sacrifice, because narcissists are destructive machines. They will destroy everything. They will take you away from yourself, and they will require you to give up everything to them, right down sometimes to signing your soul away. They will even go as far as to unlive you. They have this consuming hunger for power and privileges and recognition and greatness and all of it. And it knows no bounds. It feels entitled to do whatever it wants to do, whatever it needs to do for this hunger. So forget about ethics and morality. These individuals as humans are without humanity. They don't behave inside the human code of conduct. You have to be prepared for anything. It's better actually that you are. That way, nothing's going to shock you. And you really have to know they will go that low. However low you can imagine someone going, they can go lower. But the issue is, and it's something that we have to reconcile within ourselves, is that how they present as who they are and who they actually are is very different. So something to always keep in mind with a narcissist is no matter how well they hold a conversation and present themselves, usually it's as a good and virtuous person that just wants to connect and be friendly. You're not a friend to them. You're not a romantic partner to them. You're not a person to them. Even their children are not people to them. Narcissistic relationships are never a relationship of two people with a two-way dynamic that is healthy and reciprocal, because they can lead you to believe that they're giving and beneficial to you. But the truth is, in their minds, they're not there to be beneficial to you in any way. Because in the narcissist's mind, they see you as a useful tool, an object, an appliance, which they've got every intention of using. You're meant to serve them. They have no intention of serving you. That's not in the terms of the narcissistic relationship. You're meant to be there as the host that they're going to feed off of and get fat off of. And you're meant to be useful to them in your service time. But the narcissist doesn't have any capability to connect, to bond. They don't have empathy. They can't do intimacy. And they don't have connection to positive emotions. They don't have love within them. And a person that's devoid of love and empathy is honestly a truly dangerous individual. It is our empathy and our ability to connect with others, to feel and to give love that makes us truly human. Yeah, even such a human with these virtues could do bad things. But when we have love and empathy as a human, you're also with a conscience. And I speak a lot about this on the channel, because to have the human conscience with the love and the empathy will make you feel remorse. It will make you feel pain for creating hurt to others. It will make you want to repent. Most of the time, this is how it works. The conscience keeps us in check. But when somebody doesn't have a conscience, this is really dangerous. And narcissists, because of the absence of love and empathy, they can do and will do a lot of damage and destruction without any care or remorse. The thing to remember is that narcissists do not have any internal sense of morality. They don't distinguish between right and wrong. They do what they're driven to do, which is to use, by any means necessary, other people. And they know that they need to pretend to have a sense of right and wrong, of morality. But what it really comes down to is what they want and need from others. Even if that completely destroys you, that's right to them. And anyone not allowing them to do that is wrong. So however these individuals actually blend into normal society under this pretense that they're a regular person, they are a human. They are in human form, but they don't have the ingredients of humanity. They're machines for destruction, and they will cause as much chaos and casualties as they can before their mission self-destructs, which it inevitably does. And all of this, it leads to far greater questions, because when we approach narcissistic personality disorder as a pure psychological disorder, it leaves a huge gap, in my opinion. And it doesn't reach deeper down to how somebody can even get to this level, how some people are able to lose their humanity and even become evil. And this, in my opinion, is the spiritual dimension that really does warrant discussion as much as the psychology. So knowing all of this about narcissistic personality disorder, we can't allow our eyes to deceive us. When we know that somebody's a narcissist, we have to buckle up, we need to protect ourselves, and we need to always stay aware and keep in our minds that this person in front of us operates on a completely different level, devoid of humanity. And you have to also keep in your mind that narcissists are always thinking about what they can get out of you. They see you as a source to take from and even steal from. And it's almost like, imagine each person has a well inside of them and they keep that well topped up. And the narcissist doesn't have their own well. So they want to come and they want to take from yours instead. And they don't care if they keep taking and bring you down to the very last drop. Remember, you're a source and a resource to be used. And they will use you to your own destruction. They're never thinking about your health or well-being. If you will grant them the access to you and allow them to keep on using you, they will use you and they have no limits. You will think of things that they wouldn't and couldn't possibly do because you're going to be thinking with your own morality that they couldn't do it because you couldn't do it. Remember what I said at the beginning. This is why you need to make the switch in your brain when you're dealing with a narcissist. Don't take them for somebody like you. They don't have the same code of ethics. They're going to do things and say things that you could and would never do. And this is really serious because when people don't understand the psychology of narcissists, they're actually in a lot of trouble of getting manipulated and thrown into the narcissist trap. And it's a lot easier than you might think because narcissists, they simulate human behavior and feelings. They do it so well. They're like Oscar-winning performers. They use emotion as a tactic and a tool to draw people in. They're very, very clever. And they're emotionally intelligent without actually feeling the emotions themselves. It's like a method actor, if you want, because the performance is very real, and it's very believable, which is what makes it so dangerous, because the method actor believes truly that they're the character and they will live as the character. And that's why the performance is amazing. It's very easy to forget who they are deep down. And I said before in another video, and I'm going to link it to you below, that we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. And it's essential for anybody to understand this narcology, that the narcissist's brain and heart is not your brain or heart. And no matter how much they appear to love you or have love inside of them, they really don't have love or even care for love. Love is not what they seek. They seek power. They seek control of others. And they seek people to serve them at all costs. And the time that you see that is when you're discarded. When you get discarded, you see the harshness and cruelty that is inherently who they are. The other side of them, the pleasant side, is all just an act. It's just the mask that they wear to be acceptable. It's the covert mask. They wear it to get what they want from others. They're the predator. They're the predator in disguise, and their primary drive is to use, to take, and to destroy, if they please. People are worth nothing to them. It's like that power-hungry tyrant that has their eye on the prize on a battlefield. And they don't care how many human casualties there are on the way to getting what they want. It's all about them. They don't care about anybody else. So to remember the extent of what they truly are capable of at the core of who they are, if you have to make contact or deal with this type of individual, whether it's face-to-face or on the phone, if you're afraid that you're going to be manipulated and you're going to be fooled by their facade, then if you need a reminder, something that I think is pretty helpful is to have something on you that you can hold in your hand that represents the truth of who you are. And if you can't clasp it in your hand for people to see, have it in your pocket and hold it in your pocket. This is a reminder to make the switch in your brain. Do not consider them like you. They will say and do everything for you to think of them like a regular human being, which they are not. Having this item is a very simple tool, but it will help you to anchor yourself in reality and to remind you visually of the switch that you need to make and maintain when you're dealing with them. Keep the ice wall up. Don't let them melt you in any way, because they will try. They're very cunning in knowing how to slip through the back door if you leave it unlocked. I have to press this point because they do a very good job in their presentation and their simulation skills to convince people to believe the performance, and they will use your love and empathy and your humanity against you. And your own humanity can actually be your weakness in this instance. I'm not saying, like I said, to treat them cruelly or to treat them without humanity, but we have to approach them with a coldness and a wall of defense. We can't let them at any cost penetrate that wall and get to us. And that will happen if you forget at any point who they are, because it's too easy. The performance is too good. So if you need a reminder with you, carry a reminder with you if you have to deal with them or have any contact with them. So I hope that that's been helpful. Let me know in the comments below. And that was everything that I wanted to say in today's video. And I want to say again, thank you so much for all of your support, for helping me to grow this channel to the extent that I've got to today. I only started in April and I'm now monetized. I'm sending so much love to you. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.